Have you ever wondered how certain political ideas suddenly become mainstream while others get pushed to the fringes? This is all about the Overton window, a key concept in understanding political strategies today. In this video, we'll explore how the far right manipulates this window to reshape public discourse. First off, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon for more insightful videos on political concepts. Now let's dive in. What is the Overton window? Coined by Joseph P. Overton in the 1990s, this concept describes the range of ideas considered acceptable in public discourse at any given time. Imagine it as a spectrum with viewpoints from the extreme left to the extreme right. The Overton window shifts based on what society deems acceptable. If an idea falls within this window, it's seen as reasonable and open for discussion. Ideas outside this window are often dismissed as too radical, leading to social ostracism or silencing of those who propose them. The window is dynamic, moving as societal norms and values evolve. This can happen gradually or abruptly due to significant cultural or political events. For example, same-sex marriage was once outside the Overton window in many places, seen as too radical. Over time, as attitudes changed, the window shifted, and today same-sex marriage is widely accepted and legal in many countries. Understanding the Overton window is crucial because it shows how leaders influence public opinion. By pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable, they can shift the window in their favor, bringing previously unthinkable ideas into mainstream conversation. They use rhetoric, media influence, and policy proposals to gradually make extreme ideas seem more acceptable. This often involves introducing controversial ideas incrementally, allowing the public to adjust and accept these changes. Moreover, the media has a powerful impact on shifting the Overton window. By giving airtime and coverage to certain topics, they can normalize ideas that were once considered fringe. Social media platforms also contribute by amplifying voices that promote these shifts, making it easier for extreme ideas to gain traction. How the far right constantly moves the Overton window. The far right has mastered the art of shifting the Overton window to serve their agenda. This strategy has been honed over decades to influence mainstream political discourse and public opinion. One primary strategy is framing. Framing involves using specific language and concepts to shape how an audience interprets reality. For instance, terms like illegal alien versus undocumented immigrant carry different connotations and influence public perception in distinct ways. By consistently using particular frames, the far right can make their ideas seem more palatable and reasonable. Another tactic is the incremental introduction of controversial ideas. This gradual approach allows the public to adjust to new concepts slowly, making them seem less radical over time. For example, extreme positions on immigration or nationalism might initially seem out of bounds, but repeated exposure can normalize these views and shift the window accordingly. Media influence is another powerful tool. The far right leverages sympathetic media outlets to amplify their messages and reach a broader audience. By securing airtime and coverage, they ensure their ideas are part of the mainstream conversation. This media strategy is often complemented by social media, where viral content can quickly spread and gain traction. Political leaders and public figures also play a significant role. When influential personalities endorse extreme ideas, it lends legitimacy to those viewpoints and encourages others to adopt similar stances. This top-down approach can rapidly alter public opinion and make once unthinkable ideas appear mainstream. Think tanks and advocacy groups are crucial too. These organizations produce research, host events, and engage in lobbying to promote their agendas. By providing intellectual backing and strategic support, they help shift the window in their desired direction. These groups often present themselves as credible sources, lending legitimacy to far-right ideas. Additionally, the far right employs psychological tactics such as fear-mongering and scapegoating to create urgency and rally support. By painting certain groups or ideas as threats, they manipulate public emotions and steer the discourse in their favor. The left's struggle to shift the Overton window. While the far right has effectively shifted the Overton window, the left has faced significant challenges in moving it leftward. Despite the resurgence of leftist ideas, these efforts often meet with limited success, highlighting the complexities of political discourse. One major obstacle for the left is its fragmented agenda. Unlike the far right, which often unifies around core issues, the left encompasses a broad spectrum of causes, from economic equality and environmental justice to social liberties and healthcare reform. This diversity can dilute the overall impact, making it harder to present a cohesive narrative. Media representation also poses a challenge. Mainstream media outlets, often owned by large corporations, may have inherent biases favoring the status quo or conservative viewpoints. This results in less favorable coverage for leftist ideas, making it difficult to gain the same level of visibility and acceptance that far-right ideas might achieve. The left's approach to change tends to be more incremental and policy-focused. While this can lead to substantial reforms over time, it may lack the immediate impact needed to shift public opinion rapidly. The far-right's use of bold, provocative rhetoric can create a sense of urgency and attract immediate attention, something the left's more measured approach struggles to match. Countering well-funded opposition is another hurdle. Conservative think tanks, advocacy groups, and political action committees often have significant resources to promote their agendas. In contrast, leftist movements and organizations may struggle with funding, limiting their ability to influence public opinion effectively. Psychological and cultural factors also play a role. Many leftist ideas, such as wealth redistribution or radical environmental policies, can be perceived as threatening to established norms and personal interests. This perception creates resistance among the public, making it harder to shift the Overton window leftward. Grassroots movements on the left, while passionate, often face organizational and strategic challenges. Building a unified front and maintaining momentum over time can be difficult, especially when competing against well-organized and well-funded conservative counterparts. The resurgence of the left. In recent years, there has been a notable resurgence of leftist ideas, signaling a potential shift in the Overton window. This resurgence is driven by growing public awareness of issues like economic inequality, climate change, and social justice. One prominent example is the increasing support for universal health care. The idea of government-provided health care was once considered radical in the United States. However, as more people struggle with high medical costs, the concept has gained traction and moved closer to mainstream discourse. Politicians advocating for Medicare for all have helped normalize this idea. Climate action is another area where leftist ideas are gaining ground. The urgency of the climate crisis has made proposals like the Green New Deal more acceptable. This plan aims to address climate change while creating jobs and reducing inequality. Although it still faces opposition, the conversation around climate action has shifted significantly, with more people recognizing the need for bold measures. Social justice reforms, including movements for racial equality and LGBTQ+ rights, have also pushed the Overton window leftward. The Black Lives Matter movement has brought issues of systemic racism and police reform to the forefront of national debate. Public support for these movements has grown, leading to increased pressure for policy changes and greater inclusion of these topics in mainstream discourse. The resurgence of the left is also evident in the popularity of progressive politicians and their platforms. Figures like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have brought ideas such as free college tuition, wealth taxes, and labor rights into the national spotlight. Their ability to connect with younger voters and mobilize grassroots support has been instrumental in shifting the Overton window. Despite these advancements, the left still faces significant challenges in maintaining momentum and achieving lasting change. The entrenched interests of powerful conservative groups, the influence of money in politics, and resistance to radical change all pose obstacles. However, the increasing acceptance of leftist ideas indicates that the Overton window is indeed shifting. As these ideas continue to gain traction, the left must focus on building broad coalitions and effectively communicating their vision. By doing so, they can push the boundaries of what is considered acceptable in public discourse and achieve meaningful progress on their key issues. Conclusion. While the far right has been adept at shifting this window to include more extreme viewpoints, the left has faced significant challenges in moving it in their favor. However, the resurgence of leftist ideas in recent years, driven by public awareness of issues like economic inequality, climate change, and social justice, indicates a potential shift. Understanding how different political factions use strategies like framing, media influence, and grassroots mobilization helps us see how public opinion is shaped. The far-right's success in shifting the Overton window highlights the effectiveness of a unified agenda and well-funded support. In contrast, The left's diverse causes and incremental approach have made it harder to create immediate impact, though progress is evident. The dynamics of the Overton window remind us that political discourse is fluid and ever-changing. If you found this exploration insightful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Share this video with your friends and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of important political concepts. Thanks for watching and see you next time.